Bam. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. But I'm the domino. Listen to that old Biggie. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
What you been listening to lately?
My shit.
Not shit.
I ain't been listening to shit. Nah, not
You
really.
you took you like me. You took a break after the event type shit, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like a deep. Like I ain't been watching no battle raps, like nothing. And even when I do listen, like watch battle raps, it's not even that much. I just be chilling.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, since the event, I've chilled, but now since this is the new fresh start of the week, I'm getting back in game mode and everything like that. So uh, I think I saw you drop something. Have you dropped something lately that was like music related, or you featured a part of something?
Um, MC Squared is we're putting out the elevated EP
Okay,
it
bet.
out, and then we brought it back because there was still some other things we had to fix or whatever. But we're doing that. We're bringing that back out.
Oh, okay, bet. Yeah, because I know I saw something. I didn't know if it was old or whatever or new or yeah, just by seeing it when it first dropped, I assumed it was new. So bet, hell
Yeah,
yeah.
it's back to work.
Back to work, back to work. On Spotify or just by the link?
Spotify, all that, the
Bet,
usual.
bet, hell yes, hell yeah. Send me all that. This way I could put it in the info. You know what I'm saying, and this so people could see it in the description. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Go to the music, hit the link. Feel me? Appreciate
Hit the
y'all. Yeah, hit the link. Appreciate y'all. But shit, yeah, man. It's been like what a good like maybe 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying, since the event or whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Time has been flying, man.
Yeah, time's been flying. But yeah, man, I just wanted to chop it up with you real quick about the event and of course about your battle. So first and foremost, I know you came later on during the night. Like, you came later on, I think around like 10-ish, something maybe yeah, something like that, right? So just as far as what you could have experienced in the event, how did you like it?
I liked it. It was pretty chill. um, the event you threw was probably your best by far. I would say.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would definitely say it was dope. The battle. My battle was pretty good. I don't know about the other battle, but I'm
Uh-huh.
sure you got all that down with Blitz and frequency though, right?
Yeah. I've definitely have. Yeah. Y'all be able to see that. It'll be up there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go ahead and click the link on that. Do. We're gonna have a couple
Crazy.
of those videos drop. Okay, so you know what? Since we're here, this is one of my questions actually that I've been asking to the end. But since you brought it up, how do you feel about that battle? Blitz versus
About
Frequency. Recap. Who won? How do you feel?
okay, the frequency one, right?
Okay.
But it was just, I mean, like even in the first round, you like uh he had like just stopped like after maybe like 8 bars. And I'm like, wait, what just happened? Because I even told Bliss, I was like, you I got money on you to win. And then he did that and I was like, oh my God. You know what I mean? It's
He's like,
crazy.
he's like, my money's
Crazy.
in jeopardy.
How? So it blew my mind, but it is what it is.
Yeah. The first round, yeah, we definitely talked about that. I've talked about it with Frequency and in the recap we've done in his interview. I talked about it with Bliss in his interview. Um, How I looked at it as, because I don't think anybody knew. I mean, we eventually had to say it. I believe I made an announcement in the thing, but there were 90-second rounds. The first one was really, yeah. I mean, the first one on Bliss, that was really only that was really only the only mishap that I could remember. I still haven't watched the battles in their entirety. I'm just going off the top, my mind from that night. Yes, first
Yeah.
round a little bit awkward, but I would say after that definitely started. He got into his bag, started punching back. Because he went first, Frequency went second, so he kind of started matching, the energy and everything like that from the second and the third. Um, yeah, I believe they both called it like think because I interviewed Frequency first, so I believe Frequency said he couldn't call it. I believe he said it's probably 2-1 or something like that. The battles will definitely be out soon, so we'll go ahead and tackle this. We'll tackle this. When we get back to it. An extra recap. You know what I mean? Type shit. But this is just the moments. From the event type shit. So, um,
Right.
Anything else? Any other opinion about their battle?
And I think Frequency cleared him with a 30. Because like even in the other two, like even after the first round, Blitz really wasn't doing that much to be like, ooh, like you said something
Hmm.
compared compared to Frequency, you know.
Hmm.
And Frequencies was more clean. Like he didn't have really any mess ups. I think he had one mess up in his third round, but I think he was thrown off by something. But either way, like I think he got 30.
Mm. Okay, okay, bet, bet, bet. Let's take it
But
back to
I
you.
might have to watch it. I might have to watch it over again because it's different when you watch it back, and then some things I might have thought I saw that day it might not matter compared to watching it over and being like, okay, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it's
To
always
where I could give Blitz a round. You know what I mean?
copy. No, yeah, yeah, it's always different. It's always different when you run the tape back than the feeling in the building and everything like
But
that. All
frequency
play.
one, period. Either 30 or 2-1. Either one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay,
Yeah.
so jumping back to the event, because you brought it up. That's why I tackled it real quick. That's actually one of the later questions. But since let's go back to the event. Did you participate in any of the games,
I
or you was
didn't.
chilling?
I was razor focused. Wasn't even trying to. But you know me, I don't do that even like if I have a battle or a show or something, like I usually don't smoke or drink until I'm done with that. And
Hmm.
then yeah, so just
Hmm.
to keep just to keep focus and all that stuff because I don't want nothing to throw me off, you know what I'm saying?
No, of course, for sure, for sure. Um, nah, yeah, man. I didn't know if you even witnessed anybody how how they were participating, but we were supposed to have three games for that night. We only got through one. Everybody was stuck on that one, and then yeah, because everybody saw it. Like I said, that was one of the game where everybody was kind of kind of a winner. I
Hmm.
mean, someone could have caused could have caused the ending of a game. So technically the loser, but I mean it has to go around so many times as a rotation. So really you winning in that predicament. It's called dropping the dime, for those who are, trying to, figure out what we're talking about. Yeah, no, yeah. So did you partake in any of the food?
Did I? I think I had like a brisket taco or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. So you jumped on the food. Did you go next door to Dances with Smoke, right next to the food table? Oh man, you missed out. Hopefully maybe we're gonna have them at another time. Or maybe, I'll link with you outside of this and we go to one of their events. That's Miss T with Dances with Smoke. She
Um,
got a whole bunch of infused items and a whole bunch of like dabs and a whole bunch of recipes and stuff like that. So I mean it was, yeah, 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 yeah. We're gonna have to go to one of their events, man, to participate.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, because I mean, everybody was getting lit. I don't know if you've seen any of the videos online or seeing any of the clips or whatever from that night. But a lot of people had fun. We definitely had a lot.
yeah,
Yeah, we had over 30 people in the building. So yeah, definitely this was definitely I think probably, yeah, definitely probably the best turnout. I mean, you said this was the best one. This definitely was the most attendance. Um yeah, no,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, no, yeah. It was definitely a good night. It was definitely a
Mhm.
good night, especially we filled up the room. We had room in the back. That's the whole potential right there. We're gonna have to get in that back, that back one day. How we gonna turn that out? But anyways,
But
um,
even the setup was nice too. If even where you had the battles, as opposed to previously, like where that fucking beam is at. Man, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah, where
It's
the
that.
beam is, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The beam
people don't
affects
stand
all.
over there.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
It affects it with the audience thing, but it don't get in the way with the battle. We were gonna battle over there, but it actually having some. They were having some. They were having some problems that night with the back kitchen. It was
With the
just
water.
a pipe was bursted or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. It was just leaking water or whatever. But they ended up fixing it the next day. So whoop, whoop. So that was good to go. But that's why we actually performed in the middle of the floor. But that was a different vibe though too in the middle of the
yeah.
floor.
I like it like that. That was like.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, that was dope that night. Well, shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you came on later on tonight. I'm glad you enjoyed the food. You know what I'm saying? You set yourself cool.
Yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself as well at that because I know how you do. You get in there and you hone in and everything like that. So let's get to it, man. Straight to it. Your battle,
yeah.
P.L.P. Smeazy versus P.L.P. How you feel about the battle? The duck. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's merch right there. I don't know, man. You should start that.
Merch. I'll just put this hat on eBay or some shit. But what do you want to know? Just ask me something about it specifically, because there's just so many thoughts about it. Just ask me something.
Well, okay. So, I mean, like just overall, how do you feel? Like, how do you feel about the battle?
Okay, overall, it was all right. I expected more, so it was kind of like, damn, you know what I mean? So I just wish that he would have came prepared, and then I'll get into this later, and not coming up with excuses for what happened to him that night. You
Mm-hmm.
know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what it is. Overall, I would say it was all right. I wouldn't say he was my better opponent or our best opponent. I would still say it's Jay the Great. Lyrically, Jay the Great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. I mean, everybody. I think everybody would agree because everyone. I mean, the other battle rappers that were on the card that night said this is definitely probably your best performance, and I agree with them. I think this was your best. I think this is all out. This was your best performance, best bar for bar, energy, punchlines too, line for line, because you had some punchlines up in there. You know what I'm saying? Because you
I
had
had
some moments too.
a few. I had a whole king size Halloween bag full of punchlines for that kid.
No, yeah, it was definitely nasty. It was definitely like I said. I think your best performance so far for sure, for sure. Um, so how you feel about it? 2-1,
3-0.
Rio
Like,
30.
yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Nasty word.
Only because, okay, first round, I started the first round, so I pretty much laid the groundwork for what is about to happen. You know what I mean? I'm talking about him ducking me, the whole Kane situation, and then getting back to him and just kind of guiding him through this, what's about to happen to him. And then he goes his first round, and then he says something that I think he repeats in all three of his rounds was, you had a bar, or actually you had a few. Like, he was like, he would say that every time, or whatever. But so it wasn't really. He did have a good rebuttal about the Dark Souls. It was about the Dark Souls, because I said something about your boss battle, and he had a rebuttal about Dark Souls or some shit. That was pretty tight. But outside of that, there wasn't really nothing that he said that totally negated everything that I said. And then his second and third, there was a chunk full of something that he said in his second round, and in his third, he was like, "I know I said this in my last round, but I'm gonna say it again." It's like you probably messed up, you know what I mean? And then to add the slip ups and the I don't know if they were chokes or not, but the slip ups and then the constant repeat, and it was like you either wasn't prepared, you didn't write your shit, or you trying to come up with something on the spot and it threw you off and you doing too much, you know what I mean? So I don't know what it is. And then to also make an excuse mid battle talking about it's 11:59 or something like that. He said something about the time. And I was just in my head, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What time it is? No matter what time it is. I'm standing right I'm, I'm standing right next to you. Like, not stumbling, none of that. And so it's almost like a cop out, and dead silence. You know what I mean? When he said it, and I was like, all right, man. So, and then to make matters even worse, like, I appreciate that. I appreciate that he gave me props in the post, as far as like, this is the best Smeazy I've seen. You know what I mean? Cool. But then you go on to write a post of excuses, totally like canceling out what I just did. You know what I mean? So that's what kind of made me frustrated about it, because it's like, and then the inaccuracy of the post. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go into detail, but it's just things that he put in there. I'm like, I know for a fact that that's not true because Mario told me this, and I know Mario ain't gonna lie to me. You know what I mean? So it's like